Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Steel Sanctuary podcast. I'm your host, David Barrow from SteelSanctuary.com, and this is my co-host, David Coro. Dave, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, man?
Dave, championship weekend is come and gone. Happy Ravens elimination day, by the way.
Fuck yeah.
Couldn't have been any
Bye.
better. Boy, the Ravens, man, pissed down their leg yesterday, didn't they? I mean,
Yes, they did.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, they couldn't have asked for it. Was teed up for them in
Yeah,
every way possible. At home, got the bye week, got well rested, all their starters. I mean, just wow. What was it? Six? I was listening to some what 6 run plays or something. They really
yeah, they
tried to
didn't run
win
the
it with
ball at
Lamar's
all.
arm. They
The
tried to win it with Lamar's arm, and it was just like, what are you doing?
If I'd have told you that the Chiefs were held to 17 points in Baltimore, you would have guaranteed the Ravens
Right,
won that game, right? You would at least thought they had a great chance to win it. I mean, you got the MVP quarterback and you hold the Chiefs down like that.
right.
That's just a bad look all the way around.
You're going against their 28th ranked defense, and you don't run the ball.
Yeah, against the run. It's kind of a head scratcher, that whole game plan. And there really seems to be something to playoff Lamar, man. He's just not the same.
No,
And I heard somewhere where he didn't play from behind hardly at all this season. And that might have been something, when they fell behind early in this game, he wasn't used to it. But I don't know, man. Like I said, you're the MVP of the league.
yeah, dude, you're
Come
getting
on.
paid bazillions of
Yeah.
dollars. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care if you're down by 20. Like, figure out a way to make it a ball game. I just they look like crap. I was surprised at how bad they look. Like, I was just like, wow, he was off. A lot of throws were over their heads.
Yep.
Just wasn't, you know, just wasn't accurate at all. He had one really nice pass, the TD pass. Um,
Yeah.
and then
Scrambling around doing his thing, right? But
yeah,
other than that,
and then Flowers, that kid, he's
it's
a
Flowers,
fucking
man.
head case, dude.
What a
Like
dumbass, man.
I couldn't, he gets that first down, crucial, great catch, and then just has to start talking shit,
Yep.
flexing, bowing up on somebody. It's like, dude, what are you doing? I get it. It's football. We miss the old days of doing that shit. I get it, but you can't do it now. So it's a
Can't do
playoff
it. You
game.
can't do
You're
it.
fighting for your playoff life here. You gotta be smart. And
And then he
then
goes to the bench and punches something and splits his
yeah,
hand open. I
like,
mean, just doubling
dude,
down on the
so stupid. Like, what are
stupidity. It's
you?
crazy.
Just you decide now to turn into a head case? You're
Yeah.
one win from going to
I
the
know,
Super
man.
Bowl,
Oh,
and you lose your mind.
and then he
You're like,
fumbles at the goal line. It's like,
wow.
holy crap, dude.
So and then he does try to make a last effort to reach out to break the plane for a touchdown. Heads up play by the I think it was the linebacker from the Chiefs that
The Chiefs to knock it out. Yeah.
knocked it out, man. I mean, just a crazy turn of
Crucial play of
events.
the game.
Oh,
Crucial.
that was the game basically. That and then how about the pass by Mahomes to seal it, the bomb to I was like, oh, who does that? Anybody else probably runs it out, not the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Nope, they're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna they're gonna do what they did, and that sealed the deal for good. And that was I just man, the Ravens, they really choked. They really did. I loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It was nice to see. Now what and one thing about it was is I'm not really rooting for the Chiefs. It's just that I couldn't help myself but be happy when something bad happened to the Ravens. It was just like I would catch myself happy when the Ravens made a mistake. It was really funny. I'd be like, "Oh, I man, it just you can't. I'm sorry, I can't
They
I
made
can't
plenty of
cheer the
them.
Ravens."
The
And
the
they, yeah,
the rough and the passer things. Kyle Van Noy with the head. Just they made
oh
so
yeah,
many dumb
that's a
plays.
good one too. The head chop to Mahomes' head. Like, what are you doing?
Just
I,
moronic.
yeah,
Just moronic.
and
I
the
don't.
rough and the passer was a good call too. He led with his helmet.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm trying to remember who Kadarius. I'm trying to remember what the name of the edge rusher that did that for Baltimore when he led with his head and hit Mahomes right in the helmet when they called that penalty. He lowered his head.
Yeah. They imploded.
Yeah,
There's no other way to put it. The game plan was terrible. They did dumb shit time and time again. It's crazy. Um, 49ers game, they win 34-31. I was kind of rooting hard for the Lions.
Oh, I was too.
Dan Campbell, bro.
Yep.
If he was the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, he would be getting eviscerated today.
Yep.
You can't kick the field goal 2 yards away at the half on fourth down. And we're like, okay, Dan Campbell's been aggressive all year long, but this time he kicks the field goal, gets the 3-score lead. Smart. Then you come out of the half, and all of a sudden now you're the gambler.
Now he's on the spectrum, literally,
Yeah.
and can't make any decision whatsoever.
I mean, you got to go up 3 scores in a championship game, Dave. You have to.
Dude, I don't know what he was doing. I couldn't believe it. I was just like,
coaching malpractice.
You're
dude,
letting a 17-point lead slip 27 unanswered points.
Yeah.
I was just like, how do you let that happen? And the field goal, that would have tied it. I get all the chances. Like I get all, the chances of him making it and all this shit. Fine, whatever. Here's the thing. You already blew the lead and you're in another stadium. This is a away game. Your offense, you know how hard it is for your offense to score in that environment? You need to take the field goal, take the tie, and take your chances. And at least hope to push to overtime. The way your team is facing adversity right now, you can't afford to not get that fourth down call. I get it. I get that the analytics or the chances they say are way better or whatever. I don't give a shit.
Dude, it's the NFC Championship game.
They don't factor it's the NFC Championship game. They don't factor it's an away game for you, and your team is reeling. You need something positive to put them and give them a better, give them more momentum going towards the end of the game. And he decided not to do it. It's a 48-yarder. I'd like to think their kicker could make that. So, I couldn't believe it.
I don't know, man. And then to put the cherry on top, he decides to run the ball when time's running out, and he has to burn one of his timeouts. They don't score on the play when he does the handoff, and it costs them the game because now they only have 2 timeouts instead of 3 when San Francisco gets the ball back. Then you're praying for an onside kick, which never works anymore in the NFL.
Right?
It just doesn't. So, of all times to call a run play on third and goal with with like under a minute to go. What are you doing, Dan? I said it at the time. They should fire him before he hit the tunnel. I'm sorry. I know he's gotten away with this shit all season long, going for it on fourth down. He was the most aggressive coach in the league, I believe, on fourth down. But God damn, that's the NFC Championship.
I'm not going to go as far as say fire him before he hits the tunnel.
Dude, if I was a serious Lions fan, I'd be off the reservation today.
That'd be tough, man. It would be tough. I don't know, man.
He cost them the game. As soon as they missed that field goal, that would have put them up 17, back up 17 after the 49ers had kicked the field goal.
Right.
The momentum switched. They got that crazy pass that hit the Lions face mask, and Ayuk caught it and almost scored. And then it was all downhill. The momentum was gone. They were just reeling after that.
Yeah, they were.
Gibbs fumbles. Then he goes for it on fourth down. It was
the perfect storm.
Calamity.
And it happened so quickly. You were just like, holy shit, like nothing. The game was out of their hands and the 49ers were taking control like nothing. I couldn't believe how fast they let that slip away. It was incredible to watch. I mean, I bet money on the Lions to win. So going into half, I'm like, hell yeah. And then it was just like, what in the hell is going on? I've never seen it. I don't know. It's been a long time since in the playoffs. I'd say since Atlanta, New England, to see that kind of lead and you just absolutely collapse.
And somebody compared it to the Falcons, but the Falcons just had no answers. They didn't make dumb mistakes. They just couldn't stop Brady in the second half.
I meant in general, that kind of lead, you let it
the lead thing,
the way they did. Like, I just, wow.
I told my wife at one point, I'm like, I can't believe this team's going to the Super Bowl. The Lions are going to be in the Super Bowl. I couldn't believe it. And lo and behold, they're not going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, lo and behold,
Awful. All right, let's flip over to some offensive coordinator news for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Zach Robinson isn't going to be the guy, Dave. He's officially the Atlanta Falcons OC now.
I know.
This is what I told you about dragging their feet. They lost out on the guy that went to Seattle, and now they didn't even get to interview Zach Robinson. So instead, we're left with Arthur Smith, brother. We talked about him on the last podcast. The more time goes by, the more things I read and see. Arthur Smith's going to be the guy, right? I mean, it seems like it's
I I'm
heading that way.
hoping no, but uh, you know, I don't
I'm
I don't
hoping
feel
no.
I'm feeling good about this. Like I'm feeling like yeah, it's probably gonna be him, but I don't want it to be him. Like I don't I just somebody floated. I saw somebody float the idea on Twitter that if he does get hired and they don't get Mason to come back, that they're going to go after Tannehill.
Oh God, no! Don't please don't tell me
And
that.
I'm like,
I
you
hadn't
know
heard
what?
that. Shoot me
Just
now.
skip this whole next season. If this is the route we're going, like
Not Tannehill,
I'm
man.
done. Like it just
Well,
if that's our big acquisition is Ryan Tannehill, like I'm good. You know,
well,
there's just come on.
I don't know. Is it better than Mitch Trubisky? Yes. Is it
Yeah, but I mean,
better than Mason Rudolph? Probably
dude,
yes.
don't even get me started. We're comparing to Mitch Trubisky here. Like, yeah,
Well, listen, I've lowered my hopes. I said the thing on Twitter the other day where I'm jumping off a building, talking myself into Justin Fields being the only hope of a somewhat exciting quarterback that they can possibly get, and I don't even think that's going to happen. Let's go back to Arthur Smith. I dug up a little. I did a little digging with him. He had Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson last year,
yeah.
and did absolutely nothing. So
Thank
that's a
you.
strike against him. But he did have Desmond Ritter and Tyler Heineke as his quarterback. So not exactly ideal situation in the quarterback room. It was worse than Pittsburgh's quarterback room by a lot. So you
Okay.
got to take that into consideration. In 2020, Dave, when he was the Titans OC, they were fourth in points in the NFL and third overall in yards. Derrick Henry had 2,000 yards, his best season, and Ryan Tannehill had 3,800 yards passing, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, a 107 quarterback rating his last year in Tennessee. This guy was a hot commodity coming out of the
I
Titans.
just want you to know you're actively talking yourself into
I
this.
am. I am.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to make
Just so we're clear. I
chicken
just
salad out of chicken shit. This is what I'm trying to do here because it's gonna happen. So I got to talk myself into it.
chicken. I've never heard that
You
before.
never heard that one? Oh,
No.
that's one of my favorites. Buddy.
It's all right. I'm just about to have a heart attack right here, live on the pod, but it's all good. Um, but okay. Yeah. No, I don't care.
I mean,
I like, dude. I want. I look. I get what you're saying. But that offense was literally still one dimensional, in my opinion, with the run game. When they got in the playoffs that one year, they shut the run game down and put it in Tannehill's arms, and they were screwed. I'm not. I'm not interested in that. Like, I know because we have the to quote AR2, the two-headed monster. He said today at running back. That should not be why we should be interested in this guy. This team needs to be revolutionized with the offenses that we have today that are the top tier offenses. If we have any hope of making it to the Super Bowl, we don't need an Arthur Smith. That's not going to get you there. Look at these teams, these four teams we just watched trying for the Super Bowl. None of Arthur Smith's offenses remotely are in the same stratosphere as these ones. Look what the Lions look like now. They look incredible, don't they? I mean, just watching them, the Chiefs, even the Ravens to their own effort, okay? 49ers. I mean, look what the Rams were doing with that team when we thought at the beginning of the season, before we ever knew of Puka Nakua and those guys, well, they're probably going to be tanking. They're probably going to be not even look what happens when you have those kind of people running teams. Look at the Dolphins. Put up 70 points in a game. Like David. Those are the kind of offenses that you need to become if you have any hope of being a Super Bowl contender. The Titans, They had that one season where they almost did it, right? That
Yeah,
one
in
time.
2019 they weren't too bad either. They were pretty decent.
Okay.
Um,
Still a needle in a haystack. They
yeah, I
had
mean,
no fucking chance against these offenses.
did they
Period.
beat the Patriots in 20,
Okay,
right?
yeah, but that was like it was the Patriots. Like I at the end, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That was not the Patriots of great. That was the
yeah.
Patriots of this is the end. Okay, there's a difference. That was their curtain call finally. So there's just no way. I'm not talking myself into Arthur Smith. I'm sorry, I'm not. I
All
want
right,
that nice shiny fucking toy
I know you do,
that's in
Dave.
San Francisco that is now in the Super Bowl, and they better at least wait an interview. I'm begging you,
You're
just
not gonna. I'm
interview
gonna
the
tell you
guy.
right now. I'm gonna break your heart right now with this
Oh,
last stat. I'm gonna give you about Mr. Smith. Atlanta was top 10 in the league in running big packages, meaning two running backs, two tight ends, or three tight ends. Mike Tomlin read that and he got aroused. He, this is his, he would have a poster of Arthur Smith over his bed the way he runs his offense. This is going to be the guy. I am telling you, Dave. He runs the kind of offense that Mike Tomlin dreams about.
this I'm gonna get sick. Like this
I
is
think they were top 5 in 2 and 3 tight end packages run on offense in the entire league last year. Can you imagine Mike Tomlin's face?
how they don't even utilize Kyle Pitts.
I know.
They
I
don't even
know.
use him.
I know.
Like
That was the mystery of it. I mean, I don't know if he ran all those two tights and stuff because he didn't trust Desmond Ritter and he just wanted to run the
like
ball as much as possible.
Drake London underachieved, or is it the QB? They don't get he hasn't taken off either like he was supposed to. I just look, man,
I
if the
know.
guy can make
I know.
Tannehill productive, why couldn't he do it with Ritter or
Hey,
one of those
maybe.
other guys? So
Yeah.
answer that for me. If you can do it with Tannehill, why couldn't he do it with them as the head coach? He couldn't do it.
I
So
know. I know.
for me,
Maybe he's not a
no.
good maybe he's not a good head coach and
It could be the whole, yeah, he's a great
all that responsibility
coordinator,
kind of
just
people fold
all
on
of the
that.
responsibility. Yeah, it
Yeah.
could be that, but
I don't know.
I just,
I'm trying to like I said, I'm
I
trying to
look,
make the best of this because
I feel sorry for you that you kind of,
oh, you believe
I
me.
kind of feel like you threw up the white flag and
I
just
have I'm
gave in
surrendering. You're
and
right.
it
I'm
accepted
surrendering.
that it's going to
Yeah.
be Arthur's. And I mean, we'll get into the Rooney stuff,
Yeah, we're gonna get to the Rooney very soon.
but
Very soon.
I'm clinging to hope that uh you know like I'm hoping that Omar Khan and Andy Weidel are like Batman and Robin, and Steeler fans are throwing up the distress signal, like the little Batman signal, like will you please help us?
There's one on my roof
Help
right now.
us,
Distress.
please.
Please send me somebody.
I am begging those two. Please step in, put a stop to this. Do not let them make Arthur Smith the guy. Please stop this. But AR2 today is just like, oh, it's Mike's
It's
decision.
Mike's decision.
It's Mike's decision.
It's Mike's decision.
It's Mike's
Yeah.
decision. I'm just like, yeah, we're fucked. Like this
Yeah.
this is not gonna
Right.
but then, I do just want to get into the freaking
Give me one more thing before you get into it.
all
I
right,
just
good.
wanted to bring up, there's an offensive coordinator out there out of work who's got 6 Super Bowl championships, a couple of head coaching stints under his belt, and is a pretty good offensive coordinator, and that's Josh McDaniels. Would the Steelers even consider him?
No, and I don't want him either. What is wrong with you today?
Dude,
Are you all right?
would
Josh
you rather have Josh
McDaniels.
McDaniels or Arthur Smith?
Neither. I neither. Okay.
Josh McDaniels is a good offensive coordinator. He's not a good head coach.
At this point, just go get Brian Leftwich. This is the route we're going.
No.
I look, dude. I don't want any. McDaniels is a Patriots plant, as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't trust that guy with anything. No,
Dude,
that guy. No.
He coached circles around Mike Tomlin for 10 years.
The way he destroyed that Raiders locker room as a head coach, absolutely destroyed it. And he destroyed the Denver one too.
He's another guy that's a better coordinator than a coach.
He's a dickhead and is a loser.
Maybe this team needs a little bit of dickhead in it, in the coaching staff.
No. There ain't no way in hell. I would never want to. Josh McDaniels.
All right, I couldn't tantalize you with Josh McDaniels.
You thought, really? No.
dude.
No. I told you, 4 teams: Dolphins, Rams, Chiefs, and 49ers.
I couldn't agree
Those
more.
4 teams.
But
And that's really, for me, that's it. Like,
but now
somebody from those four trees.
if you didn't interview anyone from the 49ers before a certain point, which I think was before this last game, now you're not allowed to interview them at all until after the Super Bowl. So
Right,
now you're
I know.
talking 2 weeks. So they're gonna hire somebody before the Super Bowl is
Right.
over. So eliminate San Francisco from the equation. And I don't know if there's anybody else in Kansas City that you'd really want to hire, but eliminate them too. So now you're down to
Well, there's one, and I told you, Girardi. I
yes,
like him, but I don't think he's on anybody's radar, though. And he
yeah,
won't be on the Steelers' radar because I don't think he's ever been an offensive coordinator. I don't think. But this is the guy that helped Mahomes become what Mahomes is. So it's like, how's this guy not getting any attention whatsoever?
I don't know.
I don't know
All right,
either. Like, nothing. So Bevel, the guy from the Dolphins, right?
Bevel, he hasn't gotten any interviews.
I know. So
It's
like,
weird.
I'm clinging to maybe we hear his name pop up because he's got former offensive coordinator experience, correct?
Yeah, he's the three-time offensive coordinator, right? That was the one that
Right.
has been
Okay.
three. Yeah.
So there's that QB guy, right?
Yep. Yep.
So I'm hoping that at least him. He's my top three. It was Kubiak, Robinson, and Bevel, but now that he's gone, it's Gerard, Bevel, and Kubiak. But I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen or not.
Yeah, I don't think Kubiak's going to be because of that making them wait. We might as well get into it now. The Rooney press conference today. Dave, you had more time to digest this than me, so I'm going to let you take the lead on most of this. But we'll just keeping it with the offensive coordinator stuff we already talked about. He said it's Mike Tomlin's choice,
Yeah, I mean,
and
so I mean,
then he
right off the
said
bat,
sooner rather than later, right? That was the
yeah.
other thing.
So I'll just so right off the bat, he starts off with his press conference of um they need to get quality play out of the QB position. It's like, yeah, no shit. And then they feel good about Kenny. He's a hard worker. He needs to take a step next year. And while he was at Pitt, he took a step forward every year, and that's what encourages them. What else? They said that Mason showed that he was capable, and his quality play proved how good of a team they can be with improvement at quarterback. And that they're, with Tomlin, he's in charge of the offensive coordinator hire, and they want someone to come in with a fresh approach, because they feel like they have a solid core group on defense to win with. It's just the offense they need to get somebody with a fresh approach, and they need to get with the new, if you will, is what he was basically trying to say.
I don't know. Let's take it piece by piece. The Kenny Pickett thing. It's a foregone conclusion. He's going to at least start the season as a starter, and then they're going to go from there. They're going to give him one more year, and it seems like the plan is to bring back Mason Rudolph because he went out of his way to compliment Mason and say how good he did. So,
Well, I mean, I can go into the questions too. Like, they started asking questions, and they asked, how does he feel, overall about the team going forward? And he said that he feels good, just hopes the new OC can help Kenny take the next step.
yeah, which
And
means
it's
Kenny's
like,
the guy next year.
Kenny's the guy. Like, it's Kenny's their guy.
They won't move off that first round pick. You brought that up before. They just won't. There's too much pride.
Right.
They won't admit they made the mistake.
Too much ego in there for them
Yep.
to admit the mistake.
It's pissing
What
me
else?
off.
He said that they can't discount competition and how it's good for everyone. I think he even made a comment about how he can't predict what the QB room will look like.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. What else? At least Mason, he said all of Mason's starts in the league for the most part have been positive.
Yep.
But he won't speculate if things would have went better with Mason starting at the beginning of the season, because somebody asked that question.
Yeah.
They're like, if Mason would have started the whole season, how do you think it would have went? And he's like, I'm not going to speculate. And I knew he wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole.
He can't do that.
What else? There's an urgency to end the playoff drought. They've had enough of this.
Yeah, that was an interesting comment, right?
Yeah.
What do you make of that? Do you think do you think he's frustrated that they haven't won a playoff game in so long? Do you think?
Yes, I think they have. It's just that how upset are they really? You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's the question.
we can say we're upset, but are you saying that just to appease us because we're pissed off? That kind of thing. Or are you? Because in my opinion, if you're really pissed off, real change would be made
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You know?
It's the first thing I wrote when I'm doing my notes for this thing is whenever a coach or an owner does a press conference, the thing you have to keep in your back of your mind is he saying this because he has to say it? He has to say, and that's with everything. Is he sticking with Kenny, saying he's sticking with Kenny because he has to, and maybe there's plans behind the scenes that he doesn't want to bring up, or is it just he's really committed to Kenny Pickett? And it's the same
Yeah.
thing, with the playoff thing. Is he really, really pissed off about the playoffs, or is he just, saying that because he knows we want him to say that?
Right.
It's tough to gauge.
He's appeasing the majority, if you will.
Yes.
And he knows that we're not happy right now. So he knows if he says that makes us feel like, oh wow, maybe there really is going to be change. But when you tell me that the decision is going to be Mike Tomlin's on the OC, for me it's like, okay, then this might not be as much change as we really need it to be, because I don't want to hear that. I want to hear this will be mine, Omar's, and Mike's decision collectively as a group. I want you to say that out fucking loud. It'll be all three decisions to make me feel comfortable.
He went out of his way not to say that, though.
He went out of his way. He said, to be very clear, this is Mike's decision. And I'm just like, fuck, great.
At the
I'm
very
so happy
least,
to hear that. Not
these Tomlin apologizers, when I criticize his choices in the past, they say, oh, these people were picked for Mike Tomlin. He didn't have any choice. No, I've been telling you people for years. Mike Tomlin has as much power as any coach in this league. He's been around a long time. He's had a lot of success. Nobody in that building tells Mike Tomlin what to do. Nobody does. I don't want to hear it anymore. This case in point right here. And he should have a big say in his own offensive coordinator. Should he take, and hopefully does take, advice from, the general managers and the owner? I hope he does, but at the end of the day, no one, if he doesn't like the guy, it's not hiring him. End of conversation.
And there were some other tidbits from this thing too that were interesting. The OC hiring thing, he said it gets tricky on the timeline to hire an offensive coordinator because Mike Tomlin's going to be down in Mobile, Alabama, doing the Senior Bowl or whatever it is they're about to do. Yeah. But he says that it'll get wrapped up sooner rather than later.
Sooner rather than later is what.
So I'm like, I don't want to hear that. I'd rather Mike go spend a month in fucking Alabama.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it to be wrapped up sooner rather than later, because the guys that I want to hear are getting interviewed. So no, keep your ass down in Alabama for like a month, please. Let's give everybody time to get done with the season, and then you can do more interviews. But
cross Clint
what
Kubiak
else?
off your list, guys.
Oh,
It's not.
Don't say that. Don't say
it.
What else? What he liked about Kenny is he's tough and he's a hard worker. He's a desire to be a winner. But this is the part where I'm like, ooh, that's kind of a, I guess you could say a dig or just being honest. He said that he needs to read a defense quickly and make the right play coming out of the huddle. And I'm paraphrasing here. Like basically he was just really admitting that he's not reading defenses good enough.
Yep.
And he needs to make the right decisions. Like I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Yep.
I'm thinking shots fired. we're actually like, saying out loud what everybody's thinking, that he's been below the line, man. And he definitely needs to get better. But he thinks he has let's see what else he has the intangibles to see the field and needs defenses. Oh, he has the intangibles that seeing the field and reading defenses will come with experience. He's saying that he thinks he'll get better with that.
Yeah, and it's just isn't that the reason they drafted him in the first place? Is because he was an older quarterback, experienced.
There you go,
and could hit the ground running.
Yep.
This is what they told us. Kenny Pickett's mature. Yep. He understands the stuff. Yeah.
And
just admit you made a mistake and move on.
And that's the thing, and they're not gonna do that. Oh, he got asked why they're targeting guys that are in the McVay system, and they said that for OC, and he said that the successful system is why they're interviewing because of how successful McVay has been.
It's good to hear.
But they'll look at other different trees, and he thinks that they'll get there and find one. Obviously, he's going to say that. I wonder. There's one though where it scared me, and I want to find that question because so they have an idea of what they want because someone asked him like, "What kind of OC are you looking for?" And he says they have an idea of what they want, and they have a certain roster mix that you can't completely change overnight. So you want an OC that can make with the roster already built and skill set they already have.
Arthur Smith.
Yeah, I mean, when you hear these kind of things, you're like, "Oh no, no!" You're saying things that no.
Oh no.
quit talking like that. Yeah, you're just like, quit doing this. No,
I got one quote too, Dave. On the offensive coordinator, they said that being said, Mike and I talk every day. Omar talks every day, sharing ideas, but it's going to be Mike's hiring. I think Mike identified what we want: somebody that has some experience and somebody that, let's say, has a track record and can look and feel comfortable with. And so for those things, those are the things Mike Tomlin's looking for. So he's doubling down on the experience thing, the what Mike's looking for thing. The only thing you can hang your hat on, Dave, is maybe Thomas Brown gets this job because he's a McVay guy, and Tomlin does have something where he does like McVay, and he recognizes that style works. So maybe you get him because he's out of the McVay tree. But man, if I was making odds, Arthur Smith would be the odds-on favorite in my eyes.
It just no.
I don't want to keep belaboring that point, but it just everything's starting to come to.
It does. I mean, his experience with the run game and what he did with Henry in Tennessee, I get exactly what you're saying.
The kind of offense he ran in Atlanta this year.
Yep, and it's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna beat these teams with these prolific offensive schemes. It's just not. I watched these teams this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody that's not blind can not see that this Arthur Smith guy's not gonna get an offense to look like that. He's not gonna get and then two, that our current QB room is anywhere near that either.
Well, they're gonna bring back Tannehill, so you'll be all right.
Yeah. Nope. Just yeah.
What scares me the most out of this weekend is how well some teams played on defense and how that might encourage the Steelers even more to stay the course. We'll just keep playing defense and run the football. Look, Kansas City played great defense.
Biggest worry. That's been my biggest worry with Tomlin is he'll just revert to what the old ways and bring in a guy that gives.
There's people on Twitter doing it right now. Look how good the defense has played.
Yep.
Defense still wins. It's like, yeah, defenses played well, but did you see, even with those defenses playing so well, the level these quarterbacks are playing at?
Right.
I mean, Baltimore played as good a defensive game as you possibly could, and Mahomes was still carving him up when it mattered most.
Look, and I don't even got to use Mahomes. Look what Brock Purdy did in the second half of that game last night. In the first half, everybody was, see, told you Brock Purdy's a piece of shit QB. He sucks. He's no good. Second half, silence. No one wanted to talk because in the second half, Purdy turned it around and made some good throws. Yeah, and in that system was hugely successful and is now going to a Super Bowl. So, I just, there's just no way. There's no way you can think Arthur Smith is the answer unless you just want him to be what you've always wanted all along and you're not really looking for change.
And here's one thing to think about, Dave, with the San Francisco stuff too. If you bring Clint Kubiak here, I'm all for it. But the whole core of what San Francisco does is their wide receivers block. Everybody blocks. And these wide receivers in Pittsburgh, they're not built for that. You're going to have Deontay Johnson blocking. I mean, you might be able to get George Pickens into a good blocker, but that worries me too. Like square peg, round hole. Someone from San Francisco comes here and tries to run that offense, and you got, DJ doing DJ things and Calvin Austin, all 5'8" of them and 165 pounds trying to block somebody. And I don't know.
So this is how we'll know whether they're full of shit or not. Okay. So he even said that Mike Tomlin is open to extending the coaching staff, and because they want to look at what's going on in the league. Who do they need to be more competitive? Who do they need to look at to be more competitive in the league? So right there, they're putting it out there that they're willing to do it. But he said it's on Mike. If Mike is open and wants to extend the coaching staff. So there again, Art is giving Mike permission to build a bigger coaching staff. I don't want to hear this bullshit anymore that it's AR2, it's Art Rooney II. He's cheap, he's this, he's that. No. See, Dave? I remember you being he was Mr. Cheapskate too. He gave Mike, he's getting in the public, he has said Mike can extend his coaching staff. He better do it.
I guess, when it comes to coaching staff, I don't think that really, how much are you going to pay a quarterback coach? That's not really like a big expense when it comes, a passing game coordinator, they're not going to make any money. I think that's Mike Tomlin's philosophy more than anything else. He said it one time in one of the interviews. He thinks too many coaches dilute the message. He likes to have a smaller coaching staff because he thinks it gets through to the players better. That's him. That's not Rooney. I don't think that ever was Rooney. That's Tomlin being Tomlin. And will he change? If he hires an OC who has a brain and can think for himself, and the guy says, I need a passing game coordinator, he'll probably get it. But we'll see. Do you think Arthur Smith needs a passing game coordinator?
No, Arthur Smith needs a miracle. But
he's not that bad. He's not that bad.
Dude.
It's not Matt Canada all over again.
Drake London, Kyle Pitts,
I know.
Bjorn Robinson, and they couldn't do jack fucking shit.
Desmond Ritter.
But he had Tannehill and come on.
And he did well with Tannehill. He did really well with Tannehill.
So why couldn't he get the job done in Atlanta?
Maybe there's a big gap between Tannehill and Ritter. Are you
serious
Ritter,
right now? Jesus.
Come on. Tannehill's much better than Desmond. Desmond Ritter's going to be out of the league in a couple of years. Tannehill's been in the league for 10 years.
But I'm saying there's not that much of a difference. He should be able to make it work with Ritter.
You can't say that, Dave. You have to face the fact that Tannehill is a much more better quarterback than Desmond Ritter.
All Tannehill had was Henry. At that time frame, all he had was Henry. They didn't have any wide.
Well, that helps. You have a 2,000-yard back too. Don't discount
my man's
that.
Got Jerome Robinson, Drake London, and Kyle Pitts. That's a tight end. That's a wide receiver. That's a running back. Bro, that's a top-tier player in theory at each, positional position.
They're all still young. They might never do anything.
To not be able to do anything is incredibly bad. Like you know what?
He went 7-10. It's not like he went 2-15.
You know what we should do? We should look up what his fucking coaching staff was. And if they're rocking with 18 people on their coaching staff,
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not just out. I'm really fucking out because that shows me my man thinks just like Tomlin, and we don't need
if it
anything.
Is that, you might as well just get your Arthur Smith t-shirt ready because he's going to get hired.
Don't tell me that. That's better.
It's going to happen. This is almost too perfect. Torrey Jones said on YouTube, any chance Tomlin feels a little shame he doesn't have a coaching tree? McVay, Shanahan, Belichick, Reed, coaches getting chances all over the league. I don't think Tomlin gives it 1 second of thought.
I don't think he cares. Someone also said that he made a comment, I'm not worried about keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
When it came to these new offensive, schemes and stuff. And it's like, I'll bet he regrets that comment because yeah.
Rooney did give us a little thing that he may not be all that high on Kenny Pickett. He complimented him, but then he gave a little dig after each compliment. So I'm wondering.
I know.
There's something in the back of my mind that just hopes that he's out on Kenny. This one. Let me read this one. In terms of next step, we can make sure we get a quality out of the quarterback position going forward. We still feel good about Kenny and his future, but he knows he has to work hard to take the next step. It's the kind of thing like here's a compliment, but then he's got to work hard. Competition's going to be good. and we can't discount bringing more competition for the quarterback position.
I am
Can
telling
we read
you,
between the lines there?
I am telling you, it is going to be if it's going to be Omar Khan and Andy Weidel that saves this team. I
You're
am
clinging to that, Dave. I'm not so
more
sure.
convinced now than ever that draft board is going to be the one thing that saves this team. They
Maybe.
can't
I can
they
see where you're
can't
going there.
afford they can't afford to bring in a big time free agent. Oh yeah, why don't you bring up how much your boy wants?
I was gonna have that next.
Yeah,
Let's
bring
talk
that
about it a
up.
little bit.
Yeah, good.
My man Kirk Cousins wants $45 million a season for 2 seasons guaranteed. I was thinking a lot about this today, Dave. Is this? I question his competitiveness. I seems and I watched this guy on the HBO special there, the quarterback thing. This guy doesn't spend any money. He's walking around in flannel shirts and beat up trucks. He's not like living the
You're
high life. He's got no
analyzing
jewelry. But
his dress
for
attire.
Christ's sake,
All
do
right.
you want to win a Super Bowl? You're 35 years old. What? He's going to be 36 this season. Do you want to win a Super Bowl? Or do you want to make 45 million a season? You can't have both, brother.
My dude
You want
don't
to make
care.
45 million playing for the goddamn freaking Saints or Vikings? Go for it. But you're never going to win a Super Bowl there.
He wants paid, bro. He don't care about Super Bowls. My man wants paid. My man
Good luck.
wants paid.
You're going to take up half the cap in Minnesota, and you're never going to win a freaking thing.
Yeah.
But hey, you're going to get paid. And this guy's made more money than anybody in the league.
I know.
He was getting 10 million a season 10 years ago. Never mind now. He's probably made almost $500 million in NFL, and he wants more.
Dave's broke.
I am broke. That was my one
over this
hope
news.
in the world. Jesus Christ, dude! 45 million a year.
Yeah.
Not even that good.
Now you're saying he's not good.
You're not 45 million a year good. I mean, it's all levels. It's Kenny Pickett.
Oh,
there's
man.
here, and then there's $45 million. It's like, what the
now you're saying he's not good.
He's not that
so
good.
Mad.
I never thought he was Patrick Mahomes or.
You're right.
Jesus
he ain't.
Christ,
you're right.
man.
He ain't 45 million good.
Yeah. What does Patrick Mahomes average a season? 50 million. So he's
it's something like that.
You're not 5 million less than Patrick Mahomes, brother.
Yeah. No, dude. Yeah. You're right.
All right. Kirk Cousins rant over and done. I can't.
Oh,
I'm so disappointed in him.
Tanner Myers on here said Kirk has all those kids to pay for. Yeah, isn't he on like 9th or 10th kid or something like that?
Yeah, but he's not paying any child support or anything. He's still married, so there's not like one of these NBA guys who's got 14 kids all over the place and paying child support everywhere. He doesn't mean money that bad.
We're headed there though.
Well, yeah.
Holy crap. But yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins is not coming to the Steelers. Your dream is fucking dead.
All right, Dave. My next dream. We're back to Justin Fields again, and me standing on the edge of the bridge, deciding whether to jump or not because.
But
there's no good quarterbacks available.
Back to the Omar Khan and Weidel thing. What I was trying to say before I remembered to destroy your dream. So my thing is that I think the plan was going to be if they don't bring Mason back, they're going to draft a quarterback. They are going to see what quarterback drops in this draft class. I'm going to say we'll say between the 2nd and 4th round. And I think they're going to take one of those guys.
You're asking a lot out of Andy Weidel and Omar Khan to pick a Super Bowl winning quarterback in the 2nd and 4th round range, man.
But if they got a guy they got a high enough grade on, and the draft value's there, Mike or Dave, if the draft value's there, I was going to say Michael Penix. Michael Penix, if he would drop to the 2nd round, that's a name. That's a name.
You know why he's going to drop to the 2nd round? Because he's injury prone, dude. He gets hurt a lot.
But they take chances on injury prone. Look what they did this last season.
I know they did. But do you want to do that at quarterback? Backup tight end?
If it's the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, yeah, I could see them doing it. I'm saying this is all predicated on if they don't bring Mason back, they don't get a free agent guy that, because of how much it's going to cost.
Yeah, the money's too high.
I could see them going after. I think the ceiling is Michael Penix as far as like their draft value right now, and then is it Michael Pratt? I believe is the one guy. I was looking up different quarterbacks and trying to remember his.
I've heard Michael Pratt's name. I still got to dig into these guys. Bo Nix is a guy that in the mid round,
Milton,
middle of the 1st round.
Milton is another one.
Is
I
that
could
the
see
Alabama
them.
kid
I think so.
or the
I'm not,
Tennessee kid?
I
Um,
haven't really studied the quarterbacks yet, but I will be. But yeah, there's a couple different kids. I mean, even the dude from Michigan, if he's around in
yeah,
the third or fourth round,
yeah.
I'm just saying there's
No,
some
he won't go.
guys
McCarthy's going to go in the first round.
I've seen him drop to the third. I don't know.
Really?
It
Oof.
just depends. But I just think that there's such a deep QB class that there's going to be someone that drops, and I got a sneaky suspicion that the plan will be if this guy's on our draft board and he's there, we're taking him.
It's possible.
And
It's
this is all
possible.
predicated on what happens in free agency with Mason or whatever.
Yeah. I think they
But
could
I'm
still draft a
telling you,
quarterback even if they sign
that's our
Mason.
only hope at this point.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're punting. At this point, we're punting 2024. And we'll
Oh
wait to
yeah.
2020.
I mean, I hate to be
The,
a Debbie Downer here, but I mean,
you want to talk about
if
the only hope? The only hope is Kenny Pickett somehow miraculously turns it around and becomes a star.
I'll tell you
That's
this,
the only hope.
my thing is let's first go off of the OC. Let's see who they do pick,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Like then maybe they. I thought I was out, but they pull me back in.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see because I don't want to sell out already on this. I want to. I'll give them the chance here to make it right with the offensive coordinator or the offensive staff. We'll say in general, see how much. I just want to see how much truth they're telling. Tomlin had a really good press conference. Now Art has a good press conference. Let's see, them basically put their money where their mouth is, right? Let's see if they actually do. That's what I want to see, and
Yeah.
then we'll go from there.
They could hire Kyle Shanahan. If Kenny Pickett's the quarterback, this team's not going anywhere.
Because
Sorry.
I'll tell you this, we shouldn't give up on the team anyways because of Omar Khan, Andy Weidel. They've proven to me that they're so good at the draft that they're going to hit a couple more home runs. I mean, they really hit a couple home runs, in my opinion, with Joey and Benton alone.
Yeah. Well, let's
And
see.
they
Let's see him
haven't
do it
even
more than once.
unleashed, they haven't even unleashed some of these other ones that they picked
Yeah.
this last draft. So, and so I believe that the draft they're gonna do really well again. So as long as, like I said, the OC is someone legit, and if they do draft a quarterback or go get one that maybe actually legit gives Kenny competition, then we'll be all right.
Right. We'll see. Um, I'd like to see these guys do it more than 1 year in a row to judge them. Obviously, their first year they hit it out of the park. Can they repeat that? We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything else from the Rooney press conference before we move on to the
I mean,
linebackers
yeah, I
and
mean,
wrap this
there's
up?
still some other stuff here. They talked about Acrisure Stadium. Um, they want to have it for another 10 to 20 years.
Oh,
Um,
really? I
yeah,
thought they
there
were
was
going to try
another
to
little
replace it.
joke about is the new one going to have a dome, and he was like, no, I don't think there'll be a dome." Um, They tried to get him to talk about what the extension will be like with Tomlin's contract, and he was like, "I'm not getting into that." He actually seemed like he got mad. He was asked that. They asked if there was a reason why it wasn't extended like it usually is, and he said, "No, there's no rhyme or reason. That just didn't get extended yet." They're going to try to. They are optimistic. They will bring the draft to Pittsburgh. The NFL draft will
Yeah,
happen
I
in
heard
Pittsburgh. They're
that. Yep.
optimistic. Let me see if there's any other. They feel better about having a two-headed monster running back. Oh yeah, They just need the right O line to have more success, and he feels like the O line got better, but they need a better offensive line in general.
Yeah, it sounds like
So
they're going to add some talent to the
yeah,
offensive
that
line.
sounded like they're definitely out on more. I would say, and
Yeah, we'll see.
Mason Cole. Like I'm hoping,
Yeah, I think it's Mason Cole he's targeting with that comment.
but yeah,
I
I think
still think,
that's really about it with the. Here it is about the stadium: 10 to 12, 20 years. Probably won't be a dome. There was somebody asked him about Mike Tomlin why he's still the right guy, and he said that he still can get to the 20-year-olds. He can still talk to them and get them to basically listen. I guess is what he was trying to get at.
yeah, I saw that quote too. I mean, he's right. Um, there's always the questions of whether or not he's too lenient with these players. We go through that seemingly like every year now. Um, And he talked about it in his press conference. He was open to change and might have to change some things, and we'll see how that goes. But I
Yeah.
mean, nobody questions Tomlin connecting to players. Yeah, that's a
Did I bring up the whole he isn't sure if Mason's seeing his ceiling yet? Did I bring that
yeah.
up?
I think you did. Yeah, it's
I thought
yeah,
that was interesting.
dude. They're committed to Kenny and Mason next year. That's their dream scenario.
Well, they're hoping they can get Mason to come back. Also, he would not address Cam Hayward's contract because someone brought up whether or not
Yeah,
it needed to be restructured like Ben's was, and he wouldn't touch that. He was like, "Nope." He goes, "But we need Cam in that locker room," and it was just like, "Okay, like it's we understand that I don't know why he thought he had to go into detail about that."
they're gonna redo his contract. They have to.
But that's really it. That's all I got.
All right, let's do our
But
state of the Steelers linebackers before we get out of here.
yeah, let's do it.
We did corners. We did secondary last time. We're gonna do linebackers this week, and we'll do a different position group every pod going forward. All right, they're pretty set at linebacker. This will be a quick one.
Oh, hey,
T.J.
real quick.
Watt, Alex Highsmith.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt you. We got a new guy in the comments here. He wanted the thoughts on QB situation. Think we'll keep Kenny.
I mean, I think
And
we've covered that. They're gonna
yeah,
keep Kenny.
Ben, you just missed it, dude. We just talked about that for a good damn hour. I would just go back and start at the beginning. But yeah, they're definitely going to keep Kenny. All right, go ahead, Dave.
All right, so guys sticking around: T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig, Cole Holcomb, Landon Roberts, and Mark Robinson. Free agents are Marcus Golden, Michael Walker, Quan Alexander, and Blake Martinez. We went over the free agents. I don't know if any of those four will be back. Maybe Marcus Golden, possibly.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know. With outside linebacker with edge, I think honestly they want to make Herbig the third guy.
yeah,
I think they want
I
to
think that's the plan.
unleash him next year.
Yep, I
Um,
agree.
so if they would bring Golden back, I think it's going to be one of those. So you'll be the fourth guy,
Mm-hmm.
and Herbig will be the third guy. And if he's okay with that, then great. You know, he ain't going to be that expensive, so I'm fine with that. If they if Golden don't come back, so a guy they could go after, you're going to be really happy to hear this
Don't tell me
is
Bud.
your boy.
I would
I
love to have Bud back.
look.
I think he's not the
So
player he once was, but
I was going to say, and here's the reason why he's going to be cheap because his
yeah,
season was not that great. 39 tackles, 8 tackles for a loss, which is good. 6.5 sacks, 8 QB hits, 2 forced fumbles, 3 passes defensed, which I was like, what? So yeah, I mean, he had a down year for Bud, but I mean, that
is he a
means he
free
can be
agent?
cheap. Yeah,
How old is Bud now?
Bud, I looked it up. I'd have to re-look it up.
He's
Damn
got
it.
to be 30 by now, right?
Well, he's on here. I got the damn YouTube thing in the way. uh,
He's 30. He's going to be
okay.
31 February
But
12th.
but here's the thing, Dave. Honestly, if he's the fourth string guy, I
Yeah.
don't care.
Yeah.
So I'm not really worried about
Hey,
it. But
listen,
just for
you're
people
preaching to
that,
the choir, brother.
yeah. So so just for a guy that you're needing as a backup plan, he
Yeah.
might be affordable and may come back. That'd be a guy I would target. But
I
here's the
like
other
it.
thing too.
I like it.
So I saw a link to follow all the Steelers transactions. I don't know if you knew this or not, but they signed some guy off of the
The
Ravens
Ravens.
practice squad. Did
Yep.
you see this?
Yep.
Jeremiah Moon.
He's an outside
Um,
linebacker, too.
yes, that's why I'm bringing him up. Let's see. He had 99 snaps this year for the Ravens, 12 tackles, had 142 special team snaps, 1 tackle for a loss, and 2 forced fumbles. Guess what? Both of those forced fumbles. Guess which team that was against?
Was it the Steelers?
The Steelers.
Really?
He
I
had
don't
one.
even remember this guy's name.
He had one in the game they just had, and one in the game they had before that.
Oh,
Same guy,
interesting.
Jeremiah Moon.
Interesting.
So this guy's 6'5", 250 pounds, 35-inch arms. He ran a 4.76 at the combine the year before last. What else? He had 40-inch vertical, and
Wow.
his broad jump was 11.1.
Wow.
This dude is as far as measurements and everything goes,
That's a Steeler guy.
beast.
Yeah, the Steelers like those
Like
kind of
he's a
guys.
guy that, and then forcing a fumble both times you face the same team,
That
that's
got
going to
their
get the
attention.
Steelers' attention.
Yep, clearly.
So he's a guy that I think they actually might have snagged because they have to put him on their 53. I was reading
Yep.
about this.
Yep.
So this might be a guy they're actually considering to be like a fourth guy.
And the Ravens didn't want to lose this guy. They waived him to bring up who's their tight end there that just came off the IR.
Mark Andrews.
They wanted Andrews to play in the game, so they were trying to play a little shell game where they put Moon back on their roster once the game was over, and the Steelers caught him and grabbed him on waivers. So yeah, that's a guy to keep an eye on for next year for sure. That's a good call out, Dave. Inside linebackers where it's interesting.
Yeah.
Do they feel
right.
comfortable with Holcomb and Roberts as their starters next year? Can you count on Holcomb making a complete comeback?
I like the guy, I really do, but I can't. I can't depend on him to be healthy. I got
and there's no depth.
I liked Quan Alexander. I really did.
Yeah.
He is a thumper. Now, mind you, he's 30. I think he's like 32, 33 now. But
and he's injury prone too.
Yep. But I mean, if he's going to be your third guy, fourth guy, he's going to be cheap. You can take a shot with that. If not, the guys I'm looking at is William Gay Jr.
Yeah, he's a guy. He's the guy.
So far, just not counting playoffs, he had 58 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 4 pass defense. His market value is only $7 million.
I saw that too. A spot track, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I looked up Isaiah Simmons, who I like. That guy ran a 4.3 40 as a linebacker. They had him at like 16 million, and he hasn't done anything. So I think their contract projections
maybe their market value is a little off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just telling you.
I think he makes more than 7 million. Maybe not.
I'm just saying, like, well, he's only got 58 tackles on the season, Dave, and he started 15 games.
He's a good linebacker, though, dude. He's a good coverage linebacker.
Yeah, but like 58 tackles, though. I mean,
that's not a lot.
But the other stuff's good. The 4 tackles for loss, forced fumble, 4 pass defense. So he might be a good covering off-ball linebacker, which is what they need.
Yeah,
so that's the kind of guy. That's the kind of guy I'm looking at. Another guy I'm looking at, which I looked at, who's a little more impressive with the tackles, is Josie Jewell out of Denver. He was with the Denver Broncos. 108 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 3 pass defense, 2 forced fumbles. His market value is $7.6 million. So I went ahead and looked up.
He's more of like a Landon Roberts type, though. He's more of
right.
Run stuff.
But I'll take the 108 tackles. I mean, he had 3 passes defense, so he must have been okay. Now just the cap hit with Roberts, it's 4.6 mil, and Holcomb's 7.6 cap hit. So comparing it to our outside linebackers, our edge rushers, where TJ Watt's like a $29 million cap hit, and Highsmith's like an $18 million cap hit, they could afford to go get one of these 7 mil guys or less.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it.
They want to spend it there, or do they want to spend it on the corner or a safety?
Right.
And just draft a linebacker, which I think is the most likely thing. And I didn't get a chance to look up if there's any first round. I don't think they take a linebacker in the first round anyway, so they're more likely to take one in the second.
I'm just saying they can't afford Devin White. They can't afford Patrick.
You want to blow it out, Patrick Queen, man. That's the guy you really want.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they can't afford those kind of guys. No, at least I don't think they can. So
Isaiah Simmons is like the kind of guy they need, like a coverage fast linebacker. But I don't know what PFF only had him at, I think, like a 60s grade. So I don't know.
Is he? I don't even have him on here. I don't even have him on my free agent list.
He's definitely a free agent.
Huh? You sure he's not restricted free agent?
Filter it to linebackers and not just inside linebackers, and it'll pop up.
Yeah, I have inside linebackers. What I have up?
No, just linebacker. They have inside, outside, and just linebacker.
They have that weird thing. I don't know why they do that.
And he comes up.
But how much is there a market value on him?
Yeah, 16 point something. I'm like, what? Guy's never done anything in the league. Unless it's a typo.
Then why are you interested in him then?
I don't think he makes anywhere near that. Honestly.
Yeah, I don't. There he is. Yeah, there it is. 16.5 million.
I think that's a typo. That's something they messed up on that one.
Yeah, they can't afford that if that's real.
No.
But realistically, I gave you my guys. That's who I think they would have to go with.
I honestly think it's more likely they draft a guy in the middle rounds
Yeah,
and
but I don't.
maybe get a veteran that's very cheap.
That's the thing. I don't. If they spend that draft pick, it's going to be towards the end. It's going to be middle to end.
Middle to end, yeah. Yeah. Because they
So
have too
I
many other
don't.
needs with the center and the tackle and
I don't know. I'm kind of hoping they
corner.
bring Quan Alexander back. I like the guy. I really
I mean,
do.
you could definitely see that.
I think it'd be cheap, and it just makes sense for both parties, really, when you think about it. So
Yeah. I love your idea of Bud Dupree, though. I'll tell you that. Let's
yeah.
do
Oh, I
that.
figured you would.
Let's do that now, right? Let's get that.
Yeah.
Let's take care of that business right away. All right, Dave, that's all I got, unless you got anything else.
No, that's really it.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at SteelersSank16. Email the show at daver@steelerssanctuary.com. Check out my blog. Just Google steelerssanctuary.com to find all of the articles I've been doing. Dave, give me stuff and let's get out of here.
Yep, you can find me on X at DMC3SSP. You can find me on TikTok at Steelers Sanctuary Podcast or at Still Sank Pod. Don't forget, guys, I got the sports books at signupexpert.com/nothingness.
All right. Until next time, thanks for listening to the Steelers Sanctuary Podcast.